Hi, everybody. My name is Silvia Corradini, and I'm the Conference Production Manager at the National Housing Federation. I'm delighted to be joined by Steve Ellard, Director of Asset and Sustainability at Yorkshire Housing, and our chair for this year's Asset Management and Maintenance Conference and Exhibition, which is taking place on the 12th and 13th of October in Coventry. Welcome, Steve.
Good morning, Silvia. Thanks for having me.
Steve, I'd like to start this chat by looking back at the last 12, 18 months. What have been, in your opinion, the main changes, and what do you see are the main challenges on the horizon for asset professionals?
Well, you know, the importance of good asset management hasn't gone away. It remains right up there at the top of the sector risk profile as one of the regulator's top priorities, and that's largely around the integrity and the validity of your asset data and how you're using it to provide reassurance to the business and to support sensible, pragmatic decisions. And, you know, a number of those big ticket priorities that we've been discussing for a number of years now remain. Building safety, net zero, you know, they're omnipresent. They've been a feature of this conference consistently for the past few years, and I don't see them going away, and rightfully so. But there are challenges that affect organisations. Those two challenges in particular, they affect organisations very differently depending on the makeup of the portfolio. Not only does the actual cost of achieving net zero vary wildly depending on your individual portfolio, but predicting what those actual costs are going to be in the current climate sometimes feels like it's verging on the comical. So those challenges remain, whilst we also have the ongoing consultation around a revised decent home standard. We learn a little more year on year, month on month, all the while many of us are designing probably long overdue standards within our own organisations and trying to anticipate what a new standard might look like. And I think the conference is a fantastic forum to learn from others about this. And asset management professionals, if you'll ignore the pun, aren't insulated from the cost of living crisis. When we're operating in an environment where our residents are having to often make the choice between heating or eating, that to me is firstly ethically unacceptable, but it also prevents further challenges in terms of how our buildings will perform thermally, you know, with the likelihood being that this will exacerbate an issue that we're all focusing on at present, which is around damp, mold, condensation and disrepair. And I think for me, that's the biggest challenge facing asset management professionals and indeed the sector at the moment.
Great, thanks, Steve. Yeah, there are definitely loads of challenges and an enormous amount of pressure on the sector now, but it's interesting to see how asset management is playing a crucial role in trying to addressing some of these issues. This leads me to my next question, which is more about consumers. So with increasing focus on the consumer regulation and the ongoing scrutiny on the sector, what role can asset management and asset professional play going forward?
Oh, undoubtedly, we have a huge role to play. So the consumer regulation piece is absolutely right, and it's where we should be focusing our attention. If you ask residents what their number one priority is from their landlord, they always reference the repairs and maintenance service, which naturally includes improvements and obviously the quality of the home in general. And for us as asset management professionals to really meet or indeed to exceed those customer expectations, we need to fundamentally understand how our buildings are performing, the condition of them, and make sure we've got some really robust processes in place to make sure we don't see a repeat of some of the examples that we've seen in the media over the course of the last year. I don't think any of us working in the sector are proud of. It's been a pretty humbling experience. And, you know, for me, it's not so much that examples of damp, mold, and condensation, etc., exist in the sector. That's bad enough. It's our failure often to remedy these situations when they're brought to our attention that I think shames us. And no one's perfect in this. We have good examples and we have bad examples. And I've every confidence that, like me, there are hundreds, if not thousands, of asset management and maintenance professionals who come to work every day to do a great job. And sometimes we don't get it right, but that should drive us. When we've got organisations managing portfolios as small as, say, less than 1,000 properties to as large as in excess of 100,000 properties, how many of us can confidently say that each and every single one of our homes would pass that test? And again, for me, this is about identifying blind spots, having regular cyclical surveys in place, but this will only go so far. We need to do better at resolving these issues when our residents make us aware that there is one. It's fundamentally our bread and butter is that. And a lot of this contributes to the breakdown of trust between resident and landlord, but I'm encouraged to see that we're taking steps in the right direction. There's not one association that I've spoken to that isn't seriously reviewing how they deal with such cases. And the focus on consumer regulation is, as I've said, absolutely another step in the right direction. I'm also encouraged by the news that the National Housing Federation and the CIH have announced that they're setting up an independent panel to review issues of poor quality housing in the sector. And for me, this is important and really, really welcome work that will go some way to restoring that trust. The panel will make recommendations for the sector to take forward to help us tackle problems when they arise and prevent issues from developing. And I think this work will make a real vital contribution in ensuring that residents have the good quality homes and services that, for me, they rightly expect.
Yeah, it's definitely a step in the right direction, and it's definitely good to see a lot of initiatives and for Housing Association to take this seriously and move forward. I think the conference is coming at the right time. It's important that as a sector, but as a function, we take stock and come into the conference, meet peers, stakeholders and sector leaders and really share some of these challenges, but also explore a bit the opportunities for the sector and these communities going forward. You've been coming to the asset conference for a number of years now, and I'm interested to know, why do you keep coming back? And now that you're chairing the event, what are you most looking forward to at the conference?
Well, I think you're absolutely right. It is absolutely coming at the right time. It tends to come at the right time every single year, and I would have liked to have opened by saying that it's an absolute honour to have been asked to chair the conference this year. I've been attending for probably the last 10 years. I recall when the conference was being held in Warwick, and you do see a number of the same faces around to this day, which is nice. It shows I'm not the only one that values the content and continues to come back. But overwhelmingly, this is a well-attended event that for me is pivotal in that asset management calendar, both as a source of information, but also just to meet people working in the same field who have many of the same challenges. I'm really looking forward to it, and I can't wait to see those familiar faces and also many new ones as well.
Great. Well, thanks, Steve. It was a pleasure talking to you. Like you, I'm very much looking forward to be back in Coventry on the 12th and 30th of October for our annual Asset Management and Maintenance Conference and exhibition. More details on the conference agenda and how to book are on the NHF website. For now, Steve, thank you again for taking the time to join me today, and I look forward to seeing you and everyone else at the conference in October. Thanks, Steve.
Thank you. See you there.